Hello and welcome to a new series I'm going to be starting called Mock Draft Monday for the Dallas Cowboys, where I'll be making two videos. One video will be on what I think the Cowboys should do in the first round, and then a slightly longer video will be what I think the Cowboys should do and will do in the 7th-round mock draft and the NFL draft upcoming April 23rd. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, what I look at and what I think about is what are the positions of need. And those positions of need, to me, if they do not make a single trade, which I hope they do, if the Cowboys can make a trade, I would suggest doing the Jordan Brooks trade. Miami is team tank looking for more draft picks, and Dallas needs a linebacker, and Jordan Brooks is a star. I also saw there's other rumors. I'm hoping they stay away from someone like a Patrick Queen. But again, the Cowboys, depending on what they do in adding a veteran, they've been linked to Bobby Wagner, who I think is way past his time and his prime, but getting towards the draft contact. So the Cowboys have pretty much all but penciled in Mansoor Delane at pick 12. There are a few people that might go a little higher, but the draft is great because everyone says no one's going to make it to 12. They said it with Micah Parsons. The Cowboys won a surprising round and drafted Booker last year, but then we saw how good Booker is. But someone has to fall, whether it's Sonny Styles because teams don't value off-ball linebackers, which I doubt, Caleb Downs because of the regenerative knee issues. Somebody's going to fall because teams are going to see the receiver market getting altered by JSN and his contract. Puka's going to have a contract. George Pickens is going to have a contract. The return on investment for receivers in terms of value is at an all-time high, so drafting one makes sense. You have 3 receivers who I think could be in the top 12, and that's just depending on what teams really value, right? So you have the Browns, Carnell Tate, the Giants, Carnell Tate. There's Jordan Tyson rumors in the top 12. There's Mekhi Lemon. Does anyone want to jump in ahead? Maybe a team like Buffalo, who's in desperate need of a premier wide receiver to really alter their team. Because I think DJ Moore is, while they paid him a lot of money, they're a little past his prime with that. So I think somebody falls. Mansoor Delane just had a great combine or great pro day. So that obviously makes it a little harder, but somebody's going to fall as a result of everyone doing well. So I think at pick 12, if he's there, Mansoor Delane. Mansoor Delane is a corner who's he wasn't the greatest at Virginia Tech. He transferred to LSU, a lot better, a lot more fluid. He can move, he can cover ground, he can lock down one side of the field. He played in the SEC, walked in, and just shut things down. On an LSU team that wasn't very good, there was one guy who really stood out. It was Mansoor Delane. Now, if you give Christian Parker versatile cornerbacks who can alter and move and play in different schemes, you really open up what the Cowboys defense can become, which I think is what Schottenheimer wants, and he wants to be multiple, just like Christian Parker. With Mansoor Delane, you get a guy who can make plays if the ball goes his way, has played in multiple schemes, obviously has gotten better over time, and I think with the help of Christian Parker could be a lot better and a lot more improved in the upcoming season. You have Siobhan Revelle coming back from injury. He missed the first part of last year, but he has a full offseason, hopefully, to be healthy. I think you put Deron Bland back in the slot. If you have Deron Bland in the slot, the defense, he is a nickel cornerback. And you paid him like a top guy because he performed like a top guy, but he performed like a top guy at nickel. So moving him back to nickel. And then I think on the other side, whether it's Kobe Durant or Revelle, Delane kind of gives you that playmaker, so you can alter that. You have Jalen Thompson over the top. You have PJ Locke, Malik Hooker. A lot of guys who Malik Hooker being your worst guy is not nearly as bad as the lineups we had last year. I'm a big fan of Josh Butler. Obviously, I want him to be an emergency corner, but Josh Butler is back. So I think Mansoor Delane is a home run pick at 12 and will alter the Cowboys defense for the best way. Now, at pick 20, there's a lot of options the Cowboys can go. There is obviously the best player available route that I think if they take, it will upset a lot of fans. There's people like Monroe Freeling that could fall. You need a right tackle. Terrence Steele has not been performing well. There are edges out there, whether it's Akeem Mesidor, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, pick your player, right? But if you don't trade back, you have to think, what value can I get? What starter can I get? The Cowboys said they don't want any more redshirt years. They want to have an established defense. So I'm looking at this pick, right? You can go the linebacker route with C.J. Allen, but as I said, the Cowboys are in the market for a couple linebackers. Maybe they make a move that allows them to just draft best player available. I also like some of the later linebackers a lot more than the later edges. What do I mean by that? Well, at pick 92, there's a couple players you can take a flyer on, and if they reach there, I think they're great. Whether that's Gaulde, Anthony Hill, which I doubt makes it that far, Trotter, obviously Jacob Rodriguez has really risen. I think he should be a first-round draft pick. But like I said, somebody has to fall. So I think the Cowboys look at their team. They look at the immediate need at edge. Ezeraku is your only 9 tech right now, and you're switching to a 3-4. You need guys that can get to the passer. Mansoor does that. He is startable. He plays the run, which the Cowboys need to do. And I think he's versatile enough to where he can play the 9, 7, can move into the 5. And you got Rashawn Gary to play the 4-eye. You have Quentin Williams in the middle. You have Kenny Clark. You have Otito and Jay Toya. I think what you're really missing is another edge who can rotate in. And I think they should bring back a veteran like Clowney. But I think Akeem Mesidor is a win-now player. The Cowboys are in win-now mode. You're paying Dak Prescott all that money, which means you have to be in win-now mode. And Dak doesn't need a lot. He just needs a defense that isn't going to get the ball run down their throat, that isn't going to just let the quarterback sit back and outgun them. Because we saw Dak can put up 40 a game, but those games were hard to win. And when they did win, it was often on a miracle play or a Dak masterclass. So this is my first round mock draft and predicting for the Cowboys if they do not make any trades. A couple of trades I think they could make that would be really beneficial are with Kansas City moving up to 9. Kansas City has a couple holes in a roster and maybe a down year. You want to move up, get your cornerback of the future with Mansoor Delane. I could see that happening. Maybe do 9 for 12 and 92. And then also a pick that I can see swapping is the Giants with 5 and trading back with the Cowboys for 12 and 20. I think the Cowboys have holes, but I think they're a lot more boom or bust on their prospects, where the Giants just need players. And I think the Cowboys have players that they're confident in. Jerry Jones is famous for, I like my guys. So if he likes his guys, this is the move. I think doing this first round, the Cowboys are a better team. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, if you have any suggestions, please leave it down below in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, and let me know, who do you want the Cowboys to take at 12, at 20, and if not anyone, are you team trade back? And if so, who are you looking at? Thank you again, and